Big day on the shed?
Well, it ain't gonna be too big a day. It's almost lunch and it started.
It's a chilly start to the day, but it's supposed to warm up. It's already warmed up quite a bit. So what are you going to work on today? What are you doing?
I'm gonna put in the little post saddles, perches, whatever you call them. I'm gonna measure and get them where I want them. You know, the right width apart and all that, and then drill and put anchors in the concrete piers that we poured the other day and get those things set, and then it'll be time to start putting the posts in.
That'd be exciting.
Yeah, it'll be fun, I guess. I ain't done that in a long time. I ain't looking too forward to it. Once I get back in the swing of it, maybe.
Yeah, get the
Maybe
first
it'll come
one.
back to me.
Oh, it will. Get the first one done, and then you'll.
I used to do whole lots of this, but I ain't done it in
Several years.
15 years
Yeah.
probably.
Been a while.
Mm-hmm.
You smell good.
Thank you. I was thinking about going out to town here in a little while, and I wanted to smell good.
You smell sweet though. What, you got like candy in your pocket or something?
A little something, a little cologne.
You smell pretty good. Oh, it's the chapstick. I just got this waft of candy. Smelled like you were holding some candy in your pocket or something.
Strawberry chapstick.
Oh, that's why it smells so
Yeah.
good. There you go. And I'm like, wow, what's that sweet candy scent?
Yeah. Thought I might go on a date here in a little while.
Should I ask where we're going, or should I ask where are you and whoever going?
I said I was going on a date. I didn't say we.
You going by yourself?
Yeah. Got to work.
So the last video that we did on the shed, pouring those piers, we had some questions, and then we probably won't answer all of them because I probably can't remember all of them, but one of them that I remember was that someone noticed it's not level, which is a problem we face all the time up here on the Goat Bluff.
Mm-hmm.
But they wanted to know how Matt would fix that, or if he would fix it. I guess you'll fix it in the building.
Yeah, I'll just build the building will be plumb and square to itself, but it'll just be sitting on ground that's a little uneven. I didn't want to go to the expense and the time of trying to scrape this out. If I was going to go that far, then I might even pour a slab.
Yeah.
You know, and I just didn't want to, for what I'm doing here, I don't, just to put the tractor and stuff in, tools in, I didn't figure there's no need in it, and there's not. So I'll just plumb the building and get it plumb and level, and it'll just be sitting on ground that's a little bit wonky.
Yeah, which is the way the ground's been for the last 30 years, and we've parked vehicles here and everything else, so it's been okay. And what else was there? A lot of people said, which is a good tip, you could investigate yourself, but that instead of doing like Matt did and mixing the concrete in the wheelbarrow, they just mixed it in the hole. But that's just, I guess, personal preference or whatever. If you wanted to do it that way, you sure could.
Yeah, I guess that's fine. I just have always mixed it in a wheelbarrow, and that way I know for sure it's mixed before I pour it in. I'm going to drill these things with a hammer drill to put those brackets on, and I want to know for sure that it was a thorough mix and that it had time to sit here and get hard before I drill it. I don't want to drill down that far and run into a pocket that's dusty or dry or didn't get mixed good. Because the anchor won't hold as well, or won't hold at all in that actually. So I just want to be sure it's mixed real good, and it was, and should be fine. It's been several days now, so it should be good enough to drill holes in and hold like it's supposed to.
Yeah, that goes back to, excuse me, like I said, personal preference. Best way, what is it? The best way you want to do something is the way you want to do it.
Best way to do things the way you like to do it.
So of course,
right.
If that's how that works good for you, you should do it. And that's a good tip for somebody else. They can investigate, and that might be easier for them, especially if you didn't have a wheelbarrow, you didn't have nothing to mix it in. And other thing though, going along with that, if you're in a place that a code is going to dictate what you do, then they're going to tell you how to do it, or you're going to have to find out how to do it. We found out here, as first thing we did, that we don't have to worry about that, so that's good. That there's not a code on a building like this that it's basically like an agricultural shed. Nobody's going to live in it. The tractor's going to be in it, and maybe some firewood and lawnmowers and that kind of stuff. So, but you'd have to find that out where you live and see if that's the case. And if not, then you'd have to do it the way they tell you to do it. So.
But here, as it happens, I'm chief inspector.
Yeah, so you're pleasing yourself.
So if I may just do it however I want to do it, and that's how I'm going to do it. I mean, I'm going to do it to where I know it's good, and it'll stand, and it'll be here after I'm gone. It just may not be like the book says, or it may not be exactly like somebody that's a building contractor says, you know.
But you was a building contractor.
I was.
So I guess a certain building contractor.
But not anymore.
Yeah. No,
so,
I know. Anyway,
but it'll when I get done with it, it'll be here.
And a lot of people, so today we'll answer this question. Several people said, well, I'm confused because I thought you were going to like pour the concrete around the poles and hold them in. So today that will explain that part where you're confused because then Matt just poured the whole hole full of concrete but didn't put nothing in it. Mm-hmm. Well, he'll show you, but like he was saying, now he's going to attach something on top of it, and then the actual pole, or what do you call those? They ain't really poles.
6x6s.
6x6s will go in that, and that's how it'll all be attached together. Mm-hmm. So that will explain that one today. And I guess I better let you get started, huh?
I guess, if we're going to get
time's wasting.
Done. It's almost lunchtime. It's time to eat now.
And you'll just quit and go in and fix you some dinner?
That sounds good. Turn the TV on, throw her feet up.
Then we wouldn't make any showing.
That's true.
Matt's got all his tools out here. That'd be your only showing.
Yeah, we have to put them back up this evening. It's going to rain tonight.
Yeah.
All right. It's been a whole lot of years since I've had that on. That was my old carpenter bag from 20 years ago. And I've kept it all these years, but I had to find all the parts and pieces and tools that went to it. It took me all morning to find them. But it's been a long time since I've had that on. I took a spell after we quit building houses, if we had to do any kind of work like this, I just wouldn't wear one because I don't like to wear one. But I also don't like walking around hunting tools either.
I guess it's heavy, ain't it?
It ain't bad. Ain't much in it. I'm dropping stuff out of it already.
Your tool bag is like my apron.
Yeah, I guess. It's like old times.
Lots of measuring.
Mm-hmm. Maybe we got it right, I hope.
Losing your glasses. Would you get them all done?
Yep, got them all in.
Lots of measuring and string pulling and string stringing.
Yep. Maybe they're close, I hope. We'll find out when we start up with the posts here shortly.
Well, you got your belly filled.
Yeah.
Now time to start cutting.
And I'm just cutting some little stobs driving the ground because I'm going to brace the poles when I put them up.
Hitting rock, ain't you?
Yeah. Ain't or up here you can't. That's in there. So I'm just beating in these little stobs in the ground here, just somewhere to brace these poles. Once you get them plumb and standing plumb, you attach the other end of the 2x4 up here on the pole, get it plumb, and then come down here on where this stob is and attach that one. Well, that just gets it one way, so I have to go 90 degrees to that and drive another one in to get it plumb the other direction. And then once it's in there that way, it's really, really stout. It ain't going anywhere. And it'll stand there just like that until after the rafters and everything are on.
And then you'll take the bracing down.
Yeah, the bracing will come down, and I bought the bracing of a length that I'm going to use the bracing as nailers to go around the poles all the way around the shed. I don't know, I think I got enough of them. If not, I'll get some more, but I bought them long enough to where I can do that.
To get 2 uses out of them.
Right.
And then around the bottom of the big beam here, then you went ahead and nailed them into the...
Yeah, the little saddles or whatever you call them things that these posts set in have screw holes in them, and once you get the post set in them, you can go through those screw holes and screw through it into the post, and that holds the bottom of it, so it can't go anywhere, it can't kick out, so it's there. So before this thing goes up, I'm gonna drill just a little relief hole there in the center for where the anchor bolt is sticking up through the bracket in the concrete. That way it don't set on top of the bolt, it actually sets all the way down on the bracket itself.
Well, we made a good showing today.
Yeah. I'm glad that's done.
Got them all up and all braced. Ready for the next step.
Yeah.
Feel good to have it all done?
Yeah, I'm glad to have that much done for sure. Now I'm gonna have to get up and do some climbing now. I'm gonna put all this stuff up because it's gonna rain.
We're expecting rain tonight and tomorrow, so we're gonna have to, which we'd put the tools up anyway, but we're gonna have to make sure there's nothing left out here that can get wet that'll hurt, right?
Right.
We got everything put up. Come sit down for a minute. I got me some tomato juice. I think Matt's just got his water. I offered to make him tea, but he said he'd take water.
I need water today.
It was really warm and hot down there where we were working in the sunshine, but now that we've come up here, I think it's a little cool, a little airish back here in the shade. I don't guess you do. It feels good.
I like it.
We got a lot done.
We did.
Surprised you we got that much done?
Yeah, I wasn't expecting to get all them up today, but once we got going, I thought, I don't want to quit till we do now.
Yeah.
That's one big leg of it done.
It is, yeah.
Now I've
What-
got to get started figuring on how to get started with the rest of it.
So what's the next step?
Next step will be start building the beams around it. What's going to hold the rafters. I've got to get my height and everything, since it's different levels from one side to the other. I've got to get on the low side and get, you know, pretty much as high as I can, because I want to be sure I can get the tractor roll bar and everything under it. And I'll level back to the other side, and just whatever's sticking up off that post, I'll just cut them off and make them all level. They'll all be a little different, but they'll all be level with one another. So that's the next step.
Next step. And then after that?
Then after that, it'll be time to, I'll have to get more material. I'll have to get stuff to do the rafters and the ridge pole. And I'm just probably gonna strip the rafters and put this old metal off used to be on our house on it. It's probably what I'm gonna do.
And I can't remember if we mentioned it in the previous video. We did mention that Matt's gonna just adjust as he goes, weave and bob as he goes, but I can't remember if we mentioned that originally you had been gonna put 2 more posts in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
But he changed his mind on that, so that's why we were able to get them all up today. I mean, if you're counting and thinking, well, you missed 2 of them, those you're not gonna put one. You're gonna build a big beam instead to go across the front.
Yeah, and I may put one across the center of it too. Maybe, I don't know. It's just according to once I get going at it, just to see if I think it needs it. It probably don't, but I may do it. I may put one in it anyway, just because I may want to end up. If I do that, then I could literally floor joist those and plywood on top of it, and we'd have storage up,
Oh yeah,
up
we
in the
should
roof
do
there.
that, definitely.
It'd be
We
a whole
should do
lot
that.
more work, but it'd be a place to
Yeah,
store things.
Definitely we should do that, thinking about weed eaters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should do that for sure. We should try to do that, yeah.
It won't be a space really that you can get up in and walk around, but it'll
No,
be
just
somewhere to
storage.
put stuff.
Yeah, we should do that. Put
And
all
we got
kinds
lots
of
of
stuff.
junk to put in it.
You could put your, looking at a rake laying over there, you could put shovels and rakes and whatever. I mean, especially during the off season when you're not using them, during the
Yeah.
winter or whatever. But you could put whatever.
Yeah,
That would be nice.
we'll see. Once I get the rafters on, we'll see what kind of height that there's going to be in it, and then we'll decide
Decide.
then.
Well, I'm pleased that we got that done. I'm tired.
Yeah, I'm awful tired and awful sore. I ain't used to doing that anymore.
You still work, I've got to sneeze. You still work pretty hard though.
It's been a long time since I've done any of that. I used to do lots of it though.
Matt gave me a good compliment. He said I I was a hard worker. I mean, that he couldn't have done it without me. I was a
No.
good helper.
Yeah, I do. I couldn't have got all that done by myself. I barely could get it done with you helping me.
Reminds me of helping Daddy when I was little, do stuff, run and get him this or that, or help him hold something, hold this. And of course, I've done that for Matt the whole time we've been married. I have no interest in actually learning how to do it, but I don't mind to help.
Right.
Miss Cindy was the opposite. She wanted to actually like try to do the hammering and the
Yeah.
stuff, and I don't care nothing about that, but I don't mind to help. I'm a good gopher,
Yeah.
or a holder. Hold this, hold that, or go get this, or go get that.
A good pilot.
Yeah, I don't mind that, but I'll let Matt do all the work, and I ain't interested in learning how to do use a saw or a drill or nothing. But
I ain't much interested in it myself. I mean, I've done so much of it. I'm ready to do other things and have been.
yeah,
So, but it's real good to know how to do that stuff and
yeah,
have that to fall back
it is,
on.
and I should want to learn. I just don't. It's not my interest, but I don't mind to help. Matt was glad that he bought what's the gun, the big one that you're using up top. What's it
It's
called?
just a battery framing gun. Should have had one of those years ago, but I just thought that would come in real handy on this shed, and it did.
Yeah.
It's heavy and it's hard to handle with my little chicken wings I got going here, but it did make things go faster, and we never would have got all that done if we hadn't. I've got regular nail guns and stuff, but it'd be such a stretch with the extension cord to get power out there. I was afraid that it'd be hard on the compressor and all that, so
Yeah.
I just ended up buying a nail gun that I knew would be able to do it, and even though it's heavy, it worked out good.
Yeah.
And it'll be handy for other things
Oh
down the
yeah,
road.
you could. I mean, from now on, you can use it. And Austin can use it.
Yeah.
Paul could use it. Whoever needs it can
Right.
use it. Yeah, so it's a good investment.
You ain't dragging a hose around with you. As long as you got nails and a battery and a charger, you can drive nails quick.
Back when you and Daddy first started building, or especially like with this house, you used corded stuff, didn't you?
We used corded, corded. All the tools were corded, but we didn't have nail guns or anything. Everything's hand driven in this house. And then the first two houses that we built,
To sell.
to sell as a job, we did two of them, two whole houses just hand driving nails. And I was on another job site with somebody I knew, and they had a nail gun. I said, "Let me see that thing." And I picked it up, and he told me about it, and I shot it a time or two, and it wasn't a week or so, and I had
You
one.
had
I
one.
figured out that right there's the way to go.
All those hammering though, that's how I can't even hammer a nail in the wall without just having to try over and over to hit the head. But Matt can just. That's why, because you done all those
Yeah.
hammering. Yeah, you've done so much.
I drove them in. I was there for a long time. Back when I was doing this a lot, I could drive a nail left-handed pretty easy. And I mean, because there was places you had to,
Yeah.
and I just kind of took it on myself to learn
get
it,
to where you could do it.
get to where I could, and get the dexterity to where I could. I probably couldn't do it now, but I could then.
Those they're easier to use without the cord, but they make things get like those nailers make it go so faster.
Oh, yeah.
Any of it's easier to use without the cord in your way or worrying
Right.
about electricity, especially on a new house or something where there may not be.
Right.
I mean, when you're first starting out.
Most everybody, they may use corded saws, because for something that you're doing a lot of sawing, or if you're sawing big lumber, it just eat a battery up, and a lot of people will still use corded saw, and I would too. I'd have a battery saw just for other things, but doing 2x10s and floor joists, and if we'd have had to cut notches and everything in those 6x6s and stuff, I would have had a saw, a corded saw. But I knew I wasn't going to be doing that, so I'm trying to debate now. I'm going to have to cut the top of those posts off at whatever level that ends up being. I'm about half in the mind do it with the chainsaw.
Really?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind of rough, but it don't make no difference,
No.
really.
You're just pleasing yourself,
Right.
so.
And I'll actually have a guide on it, because I'll have the beam on it on either side of it, and I'll just can lay the chain right down on it and just nip it off. instead of having to go all the way around it on a ladder with a saw.
Yeah.
That may be what I do. Maybe a little redneck, but so be it. That's kind of what I am anyhow.
That's what I was going to say. That might have been said about you before.
Kind of fits, doesn't it?
Kind of fits, yeah.
That's all right.
Didn't you, though, redo, or was we doing? Was it the windows or something we did? Or maybe it was the beds out here. Something you used one of Daddy's old things. You fixed it up and used it. What was that? A saw or a drill or something? Or a sawzall or something?
It was when I was working down there at Corey and Austin's. It was a jigsaw.
Yeah, that was it, yeah.
It was an old jigsaw, and we actually used that in this house when we was building it, and it was one of his old jigsaws, and still got it.
Mm-hmm.
Thing runs like a top.
I'm sure it was used in that house too, probably.
I know it was.
I mean, prior to you using it.
Right. I mean, it's a old saw, and heavy built, metal cased, and it's still going. And I guarantee it's 50 years old at least.
That's neat.
It's probably older than that.
Mm-hmm. Neat.
Yeah.
Were you sore? Your elbows is what hurts you. That's probably all that hammering you've done too is what got your elbows.
My elbows and my forearms. If it wasn't for that, I could go.
Just keep going.
It just wasn't nothing stopped me, but I don't know, whatever that is.
Like tendonitis or something like that?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's not it's a little bit in my joint, but it's mostly right down the top of that muscle on my forearm on both of them, but especially this one. That you try to use it like you normally would, and there's so much pain, it just stops you, and you have to stop. You ain't got any strength anymore. It was pretty rough using that nail gun down there on it, so tomorrow it'll be real sore.
Yeah. You can use Matt's got one of those muscle gun things. What are they?
Massage gun?
Yeah, would that help it?
It might. I'll try it and see.
See if it helped it any.
I need to just jump in a big swimming pool of liquid Tylenol or something. That's what I need to do.
I don't know the Tylenol would do anything for you, but liquid Bengay or something like that.
Yeah, something.
Something like that. Miss Cindy was always trying to try various things. Those rub-on kind of things, all natural ones. We've got several of them, different kinds, but she was always coming up with something like that for aches and pains. What's the Tiger Balm or something? Yeah. That one looks real set you on fire, don't it?
It'll burn you, and somebody could smell you from 50 paces, and it don't really do nothing.
Oh, it does.
No, I mean, it might for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Might feel a little bit better.
That's the ones, I've never used much of those very often, but the ones I have, it does feel good for the first few minutes, and then it just goes away.
Yeah. And then you're left with
the smell.
Yeah.
Which I like that smell. It's kind of pepperminty. I don't know.
It gets all over your clothes, and then your shirt sticks to you, and then it's just I'd just soon hurt. Because I'm gonna hurt anyway,
Yeah. We were down there working though. Of course, Matt's thinking about telling stories about past jobs and stuff like that, and he'd been on. But somehow we got to talking about this gentleman that over in the community that I knew my whole life. Matt knew him after he come here, I guess.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Knew his son, I guess, better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'd heard lots of tales from your daddy about him, and so, yeah. If we happened to run into him and get around him, I'd want to stop and listen and see what he said, because he was pretty funny.
He was funny, without meaning to be one of those kind of people.
Yeah, not at all trying to be funny.
Yeah, not at all. But what was it that you said he said that he always wanted to be a...
He was all the time trying to find, he's all the time, the jobs he was in was probably didn't pay real high or whatever. And he's all the time, I don't know if he was just jumping from job to job or whatever, but he took a spell. He wanted to cut pulpwood. He wanted to be a pulpwooder, and of course that's a whole lot of hard work, and ain't a whole lot of money in that either. And he knew that, but he I think it was your daddy that may ask him, because your daddy had
he'd done that.
done a lot of
Papa
pulpwood.
was a pulpwood cutter, and Pap at different times, and my Uncle Ray and Uncle Henry, all of them, cousins and stuff. They all did it at various different times.
But anyway, your daddy had asked him, or I think it was your daddy. Anyway, somebody asked him, said, "What in the world do you want to be a pulpwooder for? You can't make no money, and it's hard work. It's hot in the summer and cold in the winter. Why would you want to quit what you're doing to be a pulpwood cutter?" And he said, "Because I want to lay on my belly and drink creek water anytime I want to." And that was his answer. And what he meant was, or what I think he meant by that was, the freedom is what he was after, of working for himself and being out in the woods and nobody to tell you how, when, and why to do something.
Yeah, when to take your break, or when to go to the bathroom, or whatever.
Or as the old Western books would say, you're on your own hook.
Yeah.
It's all up to you and nobody to tell you. But that's what he said. I want to lay on my belly and drink creek water anytime I want to. And I get that. I understand that.
That's when Matt told me. I really like that. I like that image of it. Of course, because I've grown up by a creek and playing in the creek and all that, and I like that. I just like the imagery of it, and then I like that's just a colorful way to say that. Like I want to be on my own and be my own boss, basically. Like Matt said, nobody.
And I reckon he did. I reckon he went into the pulpwood. I don't know how long it lasted or how how good he done at it, but I think he actually did it. He was a fine feller, one of the old timers that's about gone, that you don't see or hear. You just don't see that stuff anymore, and it's kind of, when you do, it kind of stops you,
Yeah.
Or does me.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that, the image of that. Of course, I liked him too, but.
Oh, yeah, him and his wife both, they fine people.
Seems like the wind's picking up, or is it just that it's back here in the cool and I'm feeling it?
I don't know. It is supposed to rain tonight. It may be
blowing in.
Might be a front coming in, blowing in or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I hadn't looked at the weather close enough to see.
Typical March weather for sure.
Yep.
How'd you like to be putting up your trusses in this, or your rafters, or whatever they're called, in the wind?
Not really.
Will you have to get a scaffolding thing or something?
I'll build one.
Build one.
Yeah. I'll just use some of that lumber or whatever down there and just scaffold off the side of those posts we just put up and build me a walkway on it and do it that way. That and ladders.
You may have to, when you get to that part, I'm willing to help, but I don't like heights, so you may have to get Austin or Paul to help you.
You ain't gonna quit me, are you?
I don't know. I don't like heights at all, even that much. I'm afraid of heights. Matt used to work and be up high and send me pictures of him in a bucket or something way up in the top of a tree with a chainsaw. I'd just be like, no. Now, when I was young, I wasn't as afraid, because I would ride, like thinking about rides that high. What was the one at Six Flags that dropped you all the way down? Yeah. I rode that. I didn't think about it.
That?
I did.
That's amazing.
I know, but then at some point I just decided I was afraid of heights, and I didn't like heights no more. So I don't like to be up high. Once I get up like that, I can probably help you once I get up there, but it's the getting up and the getting down that I don't like. If you got to climb up on top of something.
It's all in your head.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
I'm not as comfortable with them as I once was. I mean, up real high, I can get up easy, high as that is, or
yeah.
It gets over 30 feet or so, and I start getting. I don't get squeamish, but I have to. It takes me a little while to get my legs under me and get used to it. Whereas it didn't used to.
A lot of it, like you said, is if I could just ignore that, but then once I get scared, then I start like feeling like I'm gonna fall, start like trying to hold on or something, and then that just makes it feeds on itself, makes it all worse.
I think what my problem is I'm stiffer, and I know that, and I know I can't, if something does happen, I can't just reach and grab and
like you
catch myself like I once did, and that puts a little fear in me, and that's actually good.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You should be cautious for sure.
Keep you from doing something dumb.
Yeah, absolutely.
I may fall off that thing down there and crack my melon, but I'm not afraid of that kind of height. That's not very high at all.
Well, I hope you don't. You've been in places where you tied yourself off.
Oh yeah, and I tie myself off in a tree deer hunting every time.
Yeah, you just don't know what'll happen.
Yeah, and you don't. And you off by yourself, and if you did fall and get broke up and nobody knows where you are, you're just gonna lay there till somebody comes hunting you or something eats you.
And that happens.
Yeah.
Some of our friends have fell out before and not went to that extreme to where nobody couldn't find them, but then they were hurt, had to have surgery and stuff.
Yeah.
Broke up real bad, so yeah, pays to be safe.
It does.
Well, reckon we can get out of these chairs.
I don't know. Katie may have to help us.
Katie's sitting on the deck in the sunshine. She's giving us the wave. You may have to come pull us up.
Sorry, you're on your own.
I'll just fall over sideways. Just wreck and then I'll get up. If I have to.
And crawl. When you start thinking about food and you've come unfed, it'll be easier for you to get up.
No, I ain't much hungry.
Really?
I'm
After
not.
all that?
No,
I'm pretty
I
hungry.
drank a whole bunch of water and I'm not a whole lot hungry.
For dinner, we barely eat anything. I had tomato juice and apple and cheese.
I
And
had
you
a pretty big breakfast is my problem.
Oh, okay. I had oatmeal. I'm still on my oatmeal kick.
I had 5 pieces of bacon, 3 fried eggs, and a great big fat orange.
There you go.
For
Sounds
breakfast.
pretty good. Although my
And
oatmeal
I ate
is
all
good
of it.
too.
It was very good.
Well, we're always glad when you stop by to help us celebrate Appalachia, and we hope you enjoyed seeing the next step of the shed, and we'll be sure to share what comes next.